All right, we're going to get started. Tonight is our last night in this particular set of lessons on Love Your Marriage. And so tonight is the last night, so there's a couple of things I wanted to cover. Actually, a couple other things, can't cover it all, but anyway, we're going to get started and get right into it tonight so that we can go through both of these lessons and do them in the same amount of time. We're going to start out talking about the 5 love languages. 5 love languages. I will tell you honestly, the first time I ever heard a guy teach on the love languages, I got, I don't know about this. And the guy was a little bit effeminate anyway, and love languages, and I'm looking and I'm listening and I'm going, man, why? And I had a hard time getting past him anyway. But you know, then I started studying it for myself. I said, you know what, it really makes a lot of sense. It really does make a lot of sense. And so we're going to talk about the 5 love languages. Let me know that when we understand more about each other, it's a whole lot easier to meet each other's needs. And so, one of these is in the area of the love languages. We're going to go to our notes. These 5 love languages are simply the way a person gives and receives love. Because we don't all give love the same way. We don't all receive love the same way. And the problem is that we usually give love the way that we want to receive love. But oftentimes we give love the way we want to receive love, but the person we're giving the love to, they don't receive love like we do. And so they're not feeling, loved by us. And we're all frustrated because we're giving this out and they're not responding, they're not accepting it, or it's not doing anything for them. And so everybody's frustrated. And so if we could only understand there's a difference in how different people receive love. And so if we understand how our spouse receives love and we give love that way, then it's going to be better all the way around. Did that make halfway make sense? Okay. The way a person feels loved by someone, learn to speak the language of love that communicates love to your spouse. Not just to your spouse, but also to your kids, and to your parents and to everybody that you love. If you could understand what love language they have, or how they receive love, or what speaks love to them, if you could understand that, then you'd know how to give that love that they need, and just would help. All right, there's 5 love languages. The first one is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is the first love language. And by the way, and it's in your notes, most men receive love this way. Not all. And also I will tell you that you can have more than one love language. We'll talk about that. But there's usually a primary love language. But most men receive love through words of affirmation. So you ladies need to perk up and listen and understand this. What are words of affirmation? Well, our notes. Words of affirmation are compliments. Compliments. They're words of appreciation. Words of appreciation. They're encouraging words. Encouraging words. The word encourage actually means to inspire courage. So when you encourage someone, you are actually inspiring courage. And positive affirming words energize a person to do even better. Positive words validate a person's self-worth. So remember that. Second love language is quality time. Quality time. Some people only feel loved by someone if that person is willing to spend some quality time with them. That's how they receive love. That's how they feel love, is the fact that you're willing to spend quality time with them. What is quality time? Well, it's togetherness, not just proximity. Togetherness, not just proximity. See, you can be in the same room with someone and be worlds apart. And especially today with social media. My wife and I, and we'll be sitting in the living room and watching television, and we have to thank God for fast forward and rewind. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to do it for both of us. We have to rewind it so I can hear it. What they say? And I have to rewind it and turn it up real loud. It's already loud to start with, but louder, so I can hear it. But we have to rewind it because my wife didn't catch it because she's on social media. And we're in the same room doing the same thing, but we're worlds apart oftentimes. So quality time is togetherness, not just proximity. Because you can be in the same room with someone and be worlds apart because of television or Facebook, computer. You can be in the same room, but one's reading a book and the other one's not, and whatever. So quality time is spent together, engaged in the other person, not just sitting side by side, or face to face, but you're actually engaging with that other person. Quality time includes listening. And this is why quality time is often a woman's way of receiving love, because women like to talk, right? They like to talk. And so we need to understand that. So let me give you some listening hints. First of all, maintain eye contact. Rolling of the eyes, I would not recommend. Maintain eye contact. Have you ever talked to someone, they never looked you in the eye, they never looked at you, they looked above you, at the floor, maintain eye contact. Don't try to do anything else while she is speaking here. I guess I was thinking of women there, and that's probably true, but whoever has quality time as their love language and you're listening, don't try to do anything else while they are speaking, like watch TV or Facebook or whatever. And then the third one is listen for feelings. Listen for feelings. Delia, did you get some notes? Somebody's falling down on the job back there. Come on. Listen for feelings. Hear their heart. Don't just listen to the words that they say, but listen for their feelings. Listen to hear their heart. Here's a big one. Observe body language. Observe body language. In fact, body language will tell you more than the words that they're saying. Body language. In fact, if you learn to read body language correctly, you can tell when somebody's lying to you or not. So body language is more important even than the words that they're saying. Look for body language. A clenched fist. Tell you something. And not maybe, I'm not talking about just, but I mean just, if they're clenching their fist or trembling hands or shaky voice, tears. Observe body language. And then refuse to interrupt. Refuse to interrupt. Someone said that no one would listen to anyone if they knew they weren't going to get to talk next. Someone said the only reason why anybody listens to someone else is because they know their turn is next. Don't be that person. Okay, so 5 love languages. The first one is words of affirmation. The second one is quality time. The third one is receiving gifts. Some people receive love by the gifts that they receive. A gift gives you something to hold in your hands. A tangible expression of love. Now, gifts don't have to be expensive, just thoughtful. Birthday presents, Christmas presents, Valentine's presents, anniversary presents. Hey, let me help you guys out here. Let me help you out. how to never forget your anniversary. Forget it once. Forget it once. And she won't ever let you forget it. Come on, I'm trying to liven things up a little bit, all right? Just because gifts. You know, it's one thing to buy your spouse a Christmas gift. You better. And let me help you out here also. Just because she says, let's don't get anything for each other this year, she doesn't mean it. So don't be that dumb. Okay? Just because gifts. I mean, she's expecting a gift on her birthday. She's expecting something on Valentine's. She's expecting something at Christmas. Expecting something at birthday. But you walk in someday, and it's not her birthday, it's not Valentine's, it's not Christmas. You haven't messed up. You're not trying to make it up. It's just because. Listen, especially if her love language is receiving gifts, I'm just telling you guys, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Read between the lines. Man, I wish I'd been here last Wednesday to do that lesson, because there was some good stuff in that lesson. And I gave it away to Sean. Hope he did a good job with it, because there was some good stuff. There's some stuff I'd have had fun with, too. Hey, gifts well thought out. That's important. Gifts well thought out. See, the gifts that we choose to give reveal how well we know someone. See, if you give me a $50 gift certificate to an Italian restaurant, you don't know me very well. You don't know me very well. Because the last place I want to go is to an Italian restaurant. Okay? Mexican, let's go. Steak, let's go. Good burger, let's go. Now, my wife, give her one. Let her take her daughter or daughter-in-law or one of her girl buddies with her. You give it to me, I automatically know you don't know me very well. All right, number 4. The fourth love language, the way some people receive love, is through acts of service. Acts of service. See, some people receive love by what people do for them. What they do for them. One of my wife's love languages is acts of service. That's why I do the dishes. Now, we're supposed to have this agreement where she puts them in the dishwasher and I put them up. But for the last long time, almost every time, I almost take plates out of her head while she's still eating, and I put them in and I clean it up, and I keep and I get on to her for messing up my clean kitchen, So, but I do the dishes, run the vacuum. When I do that, I'm telling my wife, I love you. I love you, because that's how she likes that, and I've fallen down on this a little bit, but when I put gas in her car or get her car serviced or what, I mean, she didn't ever have to get her car serviced. Sometimes her car needs service and doesn't get it, but she ain't doing it, okay? So, run errands for her, this morning, she's supposed to keep grandbaby, Jeremiah, because Krista was committed and Sean was committed, and so Dawn was going to take care of baby. Well, she forgot she had hair appointment. Well, it's hard to get hair appointment, and you don't want just, these women, they know who they want to go to and when they want, and, whatever. And so, Pawpaw had Pawpaw duty this morning. So early this morning, I was up in my office working and getting stuff done, and then when baby came, Pawpaw took care of baby while Mama went and got her hair done. You know what that said? It said, I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Acts of service. Acts of service. Okay, acts of service. You got it, okay? Number 5 is physical touch. Physical touch. Now, some men never touch their wives unless it's in a sexual manner. Not talking about this. Doesn't mean anything wrong with that. It certainly isn't. And that's a part of it. But people who speak the love language of physical touch, they love to hold hands. They love to hug. They're touchy-feely, they're the kind that, if a man has the love language of physical touch, he's the kind of guy that you reach your hand out to shake his hand, he grabs you and hugs you. If you know someone that has the love language of physical touch, if you're a man and it's another man, and we men, we're kind of different with that thing there than women are, but what you can do is find yours is, I know your love language is physical touch, it's just, hey man, John, how you doing? Did you have a good day today? Yeah, but this is okay, right? This is okay. I mean, if you got, it's, I ain't loving on you and hugging on you and all that, but it's, and I had a man in my church in Midland. It's way before I even knew about love languages or whatever, but then after I learned about it, I remembered something that he said. His name was Don Swift. He's in heaven now. He's a good friend of mine, and we were pastoring in Midland. And I remember one day he was telling me about this usher in the church, and he said, I just like that guy. Says, every time he comes by, takes the offering, he doesn't take the offering, but he just grabs him out, gives him a little squeeze, and I was going by, and I'm thinking, okay, don't do nothing for me, you know what I'm saying? But later I realized, wait a minute, this guy's got the love language of physical touch, and this guy, evidently he probably did too, because we give love the way we want to receive love, and just that little touch there on the way by, spoke volumes to him. So it's very, very important. It's really important that we learn the love language of our spouse, of our kids. Sometimes we wonder, why are our kids not responding? I've done nice for our kids and they're not responding. Well, you're not doing the right thing. You're doing good things, but it ain't the right thing. It ain't the thing that speaks love into them. What you're probably doing is you're loving on them the way you want to be loved, because that's what we do. So we need to learn the love language of our kids, and they're not all the same. They're all different. And so, how many's getting it? Is it making sense at all? Makes sense. Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about how to discover love languages. You say, well, that's all well and good, but how in the world do I know what my love language is? How in the world do I know what my wife or my kids or my best friend, what their love language is, so I can speak love to them in their language, so I can love them in a way that it will actually say that I love them, and they'll receive it, and it'll mean something to them. Well, let me give you 5 little things, how to discover love languages. First, number 1, think through the 5 love languages. Just went through them, went really quick. I could have been more detailed, but I think you got it. Think through the 5 love languages. Which one jumps out at you? Which one jumps out at you? Which one speaks to you? Yeah, that's the way I like to. That's the way I like to be loved. That's the way I receive love. And again, you can have more than one, but there's usually one that's primary and one that's most important. So think through the 5 love language and ask yourself which one jumps out at you. Number 2, sit down with these notes and talk with your spouse about these 5 love languages. And ask them which of these 5 best describes the way they feel and receive love. So just sit down with your spouse or sit down with your kids or whatever, and The third one is trial and error. It's a good way of learning anything, trial and error, you know. A lot of things have been invented because of trial and error, right? Trial and error. Do each of the 5 and see where they respond best. Actually, I have mine, but none of them are bad, are they? They're all pretty good. But there are some that speak more than others. But trial and error. So do all 5 and see where they respond best. Number 4, this is ginormous. I don't even know if that's a word. But this is ginormous, okay? Ask yourself, how are you presently giving love? And how is your mate or fiance or whoever you're trying to determine their love language, how are they presently giving love? Because how we give or dispense love is usually how we want to receive love. See, we incorrectly assume that everyone receives and feels love the same way that we do. And then we get upset when they don't respond to our efforts, Number 5. This is a big one too. What are you constantly complaining about? What is your mate constantly complaining about? You never tell me you love me, or you never tell me you're proud of me. If they're always complaining and saying that, what is their love language? Words of affirmation. You'll never tell me you love me. You never tell me you're proud of me. You never tell me I do a good job. Well, that tells you something. It tells you that whoever's telling you that is telling you, I need to be loved by words of affirmation. I need to be loved. I receive love when you tell me I look good. You're proud of me. I did a good job. You're glad you married me. You never buy me anything. What are they telling you? What's their love language? Huh? Receiving gifts. Right? You never do anything around this house. You never help me. I have to do everything. If I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. What's they telling you? They're telling you lazy for one thing. What is their love language? Acts of service. Acts of service. Don't tell me you love me. Show me you love me. That's what they're saying. We're saying, oh, I just love you. And they're getting nothing. Because the dishes are piled high. Or the garage needs to be cleaned out. Or their car needs to be serviced. Does that make sense? These are clues that their love language isn't being spoken. So that was an hour lesson in about 20 minutes or so. So let's move on. All right? How many's good with that? How many got something out of that? Think I can help you? Hopefully it will. All right, I got another hour lesson. I actually have an hour and 15-minute lesson. Let's see if I can do it in 30 minutes. How many believe I can do it in 30 minutes? All right, let's get started. The number one cause of divorce is finances. Finances. It's not in-laws. It's not outlaws. It's not sex. It's not affairs. It's not pornography. It's finances. Now, this laps over into every area, but it's finances. Fix the finances, and more often than not, you'll fix the marriage. I know that sounds strange. It sounds weird, but it is a documented fact. So let me give you some secrets to financial success. You say, that ought to be in your financial class. It is in my financial class. But if the number one cause of divorce, if the number one problem in most marriages is finances, I think it ought to be in this class too. How many agree? All right. Secrets to financial success. Develop a plan. Develop a plan. Proverbs 21:5 says, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. Somebody said, he who fails to plan, plans to fail. See, good things don't just happen to us. They don't just happen. Well, you know, good stuff's always happening to him. Good stuff's always happening to her. Good things don't just happen. They happen because we planned our life and then we worked our plan. And here's what you need to understand. The amount of money isn't the most important thing. Because I'm going to tell you something. Every person, including me, there are people that make a whole lot less money than we do that are living better than we do. Because they're better money managers than we are. And some of you, I don't know who, but some of you are struggling with finances, and it ain't because of the amount. And there are other people that make the same or less than you that are not struggling. I'm not saying this to bring condemnation. I'm not bringing this to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because it's the truth. And we need to hear the truth, because the truth will set you free. Not patting on the back will set you free. Not saying, I'm okay, you're okay, we're all okay. That don't set anybody free. The truth. And then putting the truth in action, doing something about it. All right? How many still tracking with me? All right? The amount of money isn't the most important thing. The management of our money is. 70% of all Americans are broke. 7 out of 10 people in America, prosperous America, are broke. I should have put necessarily, but not necessarily because they don't make enough money, but because they don't manage their money wisely. I'll never forget back when I was pastoring another church, and I'm not even going because this gets on the internet and all that stuff, and I was pastoring another church in another city. And it was back in the day when we had Sunday night services. It was back in the day that after church on Sunday night, a bunch of people from the church would go out and eat. How many remember those days? And I asked this gentleman who almost always went out after church, him and his family. I just happened to know he was the number one giver in the church, so I assume he was the number one earner in the church. Said, meet you at, and I told the place we're going to meet at. He goes, head down, he said, not this time, Pastor. I said, no? I said, wow, how come y'all not going? Somebody sick? Y'all tired? Y'all have a bad, what? I said, Pastor, honestly, I'm financially embarrassed. I go, what? Can't go. But I'm ready to go. Okay. Hey, understand, man. See you Wednesday night. I'm thinking, financially embarrassed. You probably make at least half again, if not double, what anybody in this church makes, and you're financially embarrassed. See, it's not always the amount. See, you can make $1 million, but if you spend $1,005,000, you're still broke. You look good. All right, I don't have time to get off on this. All right, let me help you out here. Write out a budget. Write out a budget. Secrets to financial success. First of all, write out a budget. See, when you live on a budget, you tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And that's where most people live. Most Americans today, they don't have a clue where their money goes. And for a lot of them, it's already obligated before they ever get their paycheck. But when you have a budget and you live on a budget, you tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Give every dollar a name on purpose, on paper. This money's for the house. This money's for the car. This money's for the utilities. This money's for tithe. This money's for... Give every dollar a name on purpose. See money as an arrow and aim the arrow in the direction you want it to go. All right, let me help you out here. Pay God first. Pay God first, wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're behind. It doesn't matter if you're upside down. And pay God first. Why? Because you want to get God's blessings on your finances. And you want to get the curse off your finances. And Malachi chapter 3 says that if you don't tithe, you're under a financial curse. I didn't say that. I'm too nice and too sweet and too easygoing to say anything like that. God said it. God said it. God says, you've robbed me in the tithe and offering, and you are cursed with a curse. So pay God first, tithe and offering, because when you pay your tithe and give your offering, then you get under God's blessings. The windows of heaven are opened over your life. That's what Malachi 3 says. But if you don't tithe, then Malachi 3 says you are under a financial curse. So pay God first, get God's blessings on your finances, and get the curse off your finances. Second thing you need to do is pay yourself second. Pay yourself second. Why do you do all the work and everybody else gets all the money? Doesn't seem fair, does it? You're the one that gets up at the crack of dawn. You're the one that has to hear the alarm clock 5-6 days a week. You're the one that has to put in the time. You're the one with the aching back. You're the one with the stress. You're the one that's got the terrible boss you got to put up with. Why do you do all the work, but everybody else gets all the money? So after you pay God, pay yourself. Pay God a minimum of 10%, 15%, 10% tithe, 5% offering, whatever. Pay God first, then pay yourself second, 10 to 15%. Then thirdly, pay your bills. And live on less than you make. See, financial success, it's not brain surgery. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to succeed and to excel in the area of finances. All you have to do to succeed in area of finances, it's as easy as honoring God first, living on less than you make, taking what's left over, and save and invest wisely over a long period of time. And if you'll just do those three things, you'll be financially successful. See, back to our notes. Planning Planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. Say, well, I can't do anything about the future. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can design your future. I'm not saying it's a perfect thing and everything will work out exactly the way you plan it. But I'm telling you that planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. A plan is a photo of your future. A plan is a photo of your future. What do you want your future to look like? Decide what you want your future to look like, then develop a plan to make it happen. Let's say you want to be a doctor. Are you going to be a doctor just because you want to be a doctor? Are you going to be a doctor just because, man, that'd be cool, be a doctor, be called doctor, be called doc. Hey, doc. What's up, doc? Hey, doc. How's it going, doc? That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? How do you get to be a doctor? You got to make a plan, don't you? And your plan says, you know what, first of all, I better graduate high school. And I better graduate at the top of my class, because not just everybody can get in those doctor schools. Right? I better get on the very top of my class. I better decide way back here, hadn't I? I bet, and then I better get in the right schools, and I gotta figure out a way to pay for all this, Develop a plan. Decide what you want your future to look like, then develop a plan to make it happen. Hey, here's something that'll help you. Take a week and record your spending. Take a week and record your spending. Write down every single dollar you spend that week. Every dollar. Oh, it's just $5. That don't matter. Oh, it's just $3. That don't matter. Oh, it's just $10. That don't. Well, if it was only one $5, it wouldn't matter. If it was only one $10, it wouldn't matter. But they add up, don't they? Take a week and record your spending. Write down every single dollar you spend. And you will quickly see where you are overspending. And all of us are overspending in some area. And if you'll record every single dollar that you're spending, then you'll see where your money's going. And some of you will be amazed and shocked at where your money's going. Because everyone has a hole in their pocket. Had a friend of mine who said he was walking out to his car, and he said change started falling out of his pocket and down his pant leg and onto the ground. So he bent down and he picked up all of his change, and what did he do? He put it back in his pocket, and what happened? It fell out again. And that's what a lot of people do over and over and over and over and over. There's holes in, everybody's got holes in their pockets. Every one of us have holes in our pocket. It might be Starbucks. It might be Walmart. It might be the golf course. It might be, where? Home Depot. If you'll write down every dollar you spend for the next week, you'll find out where your holes are. You'll find out where the money's going. I'm going to tell you something. You have money that you know not of. You have money you don't think you have. You have more money than you think you have. The problem is not the amount. The problem is the hole in the pocket. You need to figure out where those holes are and stop up those holes. And guess what happens when you stop up those holes? Everybody dig really, really quick. I need to do this really, really fast. You got a $5 bill? How many got a $5 bill? Nobody carries money anymore. Grab one quickly. Pull it out. Give me your $5 bill. Everybody, come on. Sure, come on, help me out up there. Don't expect everybody else to do it. Come on. You ain't got a $5 bill? Your wife won't give you a $5 bill? Come on, hurry, 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 hurry. Hurry, Kenny. Come on, hurry, hurry. I need help. I need help. Help, help, help. I need $5 bill. $5. You got $5? Come on, man. You got $5 bill? You don't have any dollars? You got a $5 bill? $5 bill? Come on, hurry. Hurry. We're gonna. If I'm late today, it's because you didn't help me out here. You got a $5 bill? $5 bill? Rick, did you already give me one? You ain't got one? You ain't got one? You ain't got one? You guys just don't trust me. You got one? Come on, give me one. Come on. You ain't got a $5 bill? Huh? You got a $5 bill? You got a $5 bill? You got a $5? You ain't got a $5 bill? You got a $5 bill? $5 bill? $5 bill? Hey, $5 bill? No $5 bill? Okay. All right. All right. See, here's what happens. Here's what happens, and I wish everybody had a $5 bill. But here's what happens: is we just go to Starbucks and we give them $5 for our coffee. It's $4. It's not Starbucks, it's $4, but now it's $5. So we don't think there's anything, no big deal. It's just $5. It's only $5. We go over here and they're selling candy over here. We should give them $5. It's no big deal. It's just $5. And we go over here and it's just $5. And the kid just wants $5. And the Girl Scout cookie, and they just want $5. And it's just $5, and it's no big deal. And we're just it's no big. It's only $5. Yeah, it's only $5, but look at here. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, $35. How many know that, $5 ain't much, and 35 ain't a whole lot, but it's quite a bit, right? It's quite a bit, And if everybody had a $5 bill, I could have collected $100 today. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we do, and it is $100 for most people. They think it's only $5, but it's not $5. It's 5 here, 5 there, 10 there, 10 there, and all of a sudden you put it all up, and you got $100 there. You got $150 there. That's just flittered away here, there, and yon. That could be put on a bill, or could be put away. Could be put in an emergency fund. How many know what I'm talking about? Ricky, find out who in the world had these $5 and give them back to them. Okay, raise your hand if you had a $5 bill. And no lying, all right? Okay. All right, kind of an eye-opener, right? All right, zoom back to me and we'll keep going, or otherwise I'm going to be late, okay? And I want to get done with this, okay? Everyone has a hole in their pocket. Discover where the hole is so you can sew it up. Rick, it's my show, please. Oh, I'm just kidding you. Discover where the hole is so you can sew it up, and then redirect that money. Redirect that money. Here's another tip. Use the envelope system. How many's familiar with the envelope system? Use the envelope system. What is the envelope system? Well, the envelope system is to, when you get paid, is to cash your check and get cash money. And then get different envelopes. One envelope would be grocery. Put whatever it takes for your grocery. Put cash in there. Clothing, just whatever, just put it instead of, see, here's the problem. Who's got I don't even have my wallet. Mark, you got a credit card on you? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Did you know that if you use cash money, you'll spend 25% less? It's a documented fact, 25% less. There's something psychological about money. There's something psychological about $5 ain't much, but I'm sitting at the grocery line, and all of a sudden I got to fork out $200 cash money. I'm putting some stuff back out of that cart, Here's the problem. The problem is this little card right here. This little card right here. Because you know what? If I go to Starbucks and I order me a $4 drink, which I don't, I go to Starbucks, but it's $1.80 for a tall cup of coffee. Okay, I just like coffee. I don't like all the frou-frou stuff. So. And usually I go there with a gift card. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, I go to Starbucks and I get my drink and it's $4. Well, you know what it is? It ain't $4. It's just a swipe of a card, right? Just a swipe. It's $4. I go to the grocery store and I load my basket up really high for a family of 5. And how much is that? Probably $300 maybe. Yeah. $300. $300 worth of groceries. But you know what? It ain't $300. It ain't $300. It's just a swipe. It's the same swipe as the $4 one was. I go to Home Depot and I get me some new toys, some new tools. New tools, but it's it's $172, but it's not $172. It's just a swipe. It's the same swipe as the $4 was at Starbucks. It's a little bit different when you got to fork out $172 at Home Depot for a tool you probably don't even need and probably going to use one time. And if you're going to just use it one time, then just borrow it from somebody that's got it already, all right? but make sure and take care of it and make sure and return it the same way you got it, all right? That's another teaching. All right, come on, let's move on. How many know that makes a lot of sense? It makes a lot of sense. People who use cash, it's in your notes, people who use cash spend 25% less. All right? All right, let me give you some help here. Your rent or house payment should not exceed 25% of your combined, if you're married, of your combined take-home pay, not including overtime or bonuses. Your rent or house payment should not exceed 25% of your combined take-home pay. Now, I will bend and go as much as 29%. If it's up to 30%, you need to have a garage sale. And I'm not talking about putting some junk in the garage and selling it. I'm talking about selling the garage and the house that's attached to it because you're house poor. You got too much house. You can't afford that house. You either have to get a raise or you got to get a new house. Because if you don't, you're not going to make it. This is documented stuff, okay? Not just Benson stuff. This is documented stuff. Okay? You say, why didn't it include my overtime? Well, what's going to happen if you set your budget up and you buy your house based on your overtime, all of a sudden things go south and they take your overtime away? Well, you based it on, well, you know, every year we get a Christmas bonus of X amount of dollars, and so I can, no, don't figure that. Why not? Well, you know what? You might get a new boss. Your company may be swallowed up by another one. They don't give Christmas bonuses. Okay? So your rent or your house payment should not exceed 25% of your combined take-home pay. Say take-home pay. All right, here's something else here. The sum total of all vehicles, where the wheels go round and round, you know. The sum total of all vehicles, cars, trucks, motorcycles, anything with wheels that go round and round, the sum total of all your vehicles should not exceed 1/2 of your regular annual take-home pay. Example, take-home pay $40,000. Combined worth of all vehicles should not exceed $20,000. If it does, you got too much vehicle, okay? Got too much vehicle. Okay. All right, here, turn it over now. We're going on the back now, okay? We're going to have to hurry here. Make a promise to each other. If you're married, make a promise to each other to never, say never. Say it like you mean it. Make a promise to each other to never go into debt, and write this in, except for a house. Okay? I'm going to let you go in debt for a house. That's all. See, if finances is the number one cause of divorce, why would you want to place yourself in this situation? Why would you want to flirt with the fact of possible divorce? Here's something else. Decide on an amount of money that each spouse can spend without consulting the other. Decide on an amount of money that each spouse can spend without consulting the other. Shouldn't have to call your wife and ask her for permission to buy, $4 Starbucks, okay? Now, first of all, if you're broke, you shouldn't be in there. But anyway, that's something else we'll talk about. But there's an amount. What is that amount? What is that amount? Remember, this is a team effort. And do not use credit cards. If you have credit cards, you need to have a plastectomy. All right? Ask yourself these questions. There's some really, really good questions. This will help you. Really good questions. Ask yourself these questions. First of all, ask yourself, as a couple, ask yourself, what are our financial priorities? What are our financial priorities? And if you're not married and you're thinking about getting married, these are really good questions to ask. What are our financial priorities? Here's an easier way to ask, and that is, what do we want to do with our money? Hey, baby, what do we want to do with our money? Do we want to eat it? Is that what we want to do with our money? We want to eat it? Do we want to live in it? Is that what we want to do with our money? We want to live in it? What do we want to do with our money, baby? Do we want to play with it? Is that what we want to do with our money? We want to party? You want to play? That's what we want to do with our money? Is that what we want to do? What do we want to do with our money? Do we want to give it? Is that what we want to do? We want to give it? What do we want to do with our money? Do we want to invest it for a secure future? What do we want to do with our money? Good question, huh? Good question. Here's a really good question. What, especially if you're in financial trouble, what could we do if we weren't financially strapped? That's a motivator. What could we do? And then just start thinking and dreaming. What could we do if we were out of debt? What could we do if we were debt-free? What could we do? And then ask yourself this question. What are some of the negative things that happen to financially stressed couples? What are some of the negative things that happen to financially stressed couples? Well, let me just help you answer that. They argue. And they accuse each other. And they stop having fun. And because they're arguing and because they're accusing each other and because they stop having fun, they stop having sex. Kind of hard to have sex when you're mad. See what I told you a while ago when I said finance is the number one cause of divorce? No, it ain't, because I'm not having sex. Well, you're not having sex because you're fighting, and you're fighting over money. And if you weren't fighting over money, you wouldn't be fighting. And if you weren't fighting, you'd be having sex. Hello? Good stuff. Here's a good question. What are some of the positive things about financially secure people? Well, they're happier. They're less stressed. They give more. They go more. They do more. Wow, here's a really good question to ask, and that is, am I willing to pay the price for financial freedom? Because there's a price to be paid for financial freedom. And if you're in trouble financially, there's a price to be paid to get out of your financial mess. Because you didn't get in your financial mess overnight, and you're not going to get out of your financial mess overnight. You can. Hey, here's some good wisdom. If you're in a hole, stop digging and build yourself a ladder. Stop digging the hole deeper. Instead, build a ladder and climb out. All right, let me give you some practical financial tips. Got to hurry. Some practical financial tips. First of all, develop an emergency fund. A baby step is $1,000. Gather $1,000. Have a garage sale. Do something. Take on deliver pizzas on Friday night. Ricky, you did that for years to put your kids through Christian school, didn't you? 5 years. Yeah. Every Friday night, every Saturday night, Ricky was out peddling pizzas. Wasn't too good to do it, and I commend you for it. Don't have to do that anymore, do you? It's awesome, but you're glad you did. Yeah, peddle some pizza, whatever you have to do to get that $1,000 emergency fund. And then after you do that, do your best to get 3 to 6 months of income tucked away. Because here's the thing, emergencies will come. They will come. You need an emergency. Why do I need an emergency? Why do I need an emergency fund? Because emergencies are going to come. The tires are going to wear out. The car is going to break down. The kids are going to get sick. They're going to need medicine. They're going to need to go to the ER. You might lose your job. Aren't you glad you came tonight to get so encouraged by me? But it's called life, and it happens to everybody. It happens. You might have a fire, huh, Joe? Didn't think it ever happened to you, did you? It happened, didn't it? It happens. Life happens. Happens to everybody. Happens in different ways to different people, but it happens. But here's the good thing is, and that is if you've got an emergency fund in place and life happens to you, it still happened, but man, it's a whole lot easier. A whole lot easier. Here's something. If you can't pay cash for it, don't buy it until you can, excluding your house. Decide that there is nothing, say nothing. Decide that there is nothing you want more than to be debt-free. Do you want that new car? Sure do. Man, it's shiny. Man, it sparkles. Man, that smell of that new car, yeah. But do I want that new car more than I want to be out of debt? Obviously you do. Decide. There ain't nothing I want more than to be debt-free. There ain't nothing I want more than to be stress-free. Decide today that you're not going to bring financial stress into your marriage. Love your marriage more than you love things. Man, that's good. And don't believe Satan's lie. Because things do not provide happiness. If they did, you'd already be happy. Because you already have those things you said yesterday, if I had them tomorrow, I'd be happy. Well, you got them. Today's tomorrow. You're still not happy. What does that say? That means things don't bring happiness. You know, I looked up the word thing in the dictionary one time, and one of the definitions for the word thing is an object without life. And most people are giving up their life in order to get objects that won't bring life. That's an eye-opener. A thing is an object without life. Don't believe Satan's lie. Things do not provide happiness. Things will never satisfy. Proverbs 27:20 says that the eyes of man are never satisfied. The eyes of man are never satisfied. You know, you go and you wheel and you deal and you buy that brand new car and you drive out of that lot with that, man, you're so happy, you're so excited, man. You're driving that car, and you're so happy with that brand new car you're driving, and it's just awesome. And then all of a sudden, someone pulls up to you with the same make and model of car you got. You say, I didn't see it in blue. Wow! I didn't see it in blue. Yeah. Let me tell you something. The only thing you want is what you don't have. That's all you want is what you don't have. Come on. And don't get caught up in the American dream. Because the American dream can easily become a nightmare. I'll never forget, true story. I was preaching a meeting in East Texas. Youth pastor picked me up from the airport in the church van. He said, hey, before I take you to the hotel, I need to run by my house and tell my wife something. I said, okay. We drive by his house, and outside of this youth pastor's house is this shiny new car. I mean, it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful car. And I say, I'm not going to call his name. I say, hey, man, is that your car? Yeah. I said, man, that is a beautiful car. He said, I hate it. I said, you hate it? How could you hate that car? That car's beautiful, man. He said, because now we can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. Young couple bought a new house and a new car. Bought a new house, new car. Wife said to her husband, said, honey, where are we going on vacation this year? He said, vacation? Vacation? I'll tell you what vacation is going to be. He said, we're going to stand on the front porch and we're going to look at our new car. And then when we get tired of standing on the front porch and looking at our new car, we're going to sit in our new car and we're going to look at our new house. We can't go on vacation. Don't buy into the American dream. The American dream can easily become a nightmare. Don't try to keep up with the average American, because the average American is broke and in debt. Who wants to be average? I'm going to help you with these, and I'm done, I promise you. I'm just going to give you that because what are these empty blanks? Use coupons and look for bargains. See, only poor people use coupons. No, smart people use coupons. Sam Walton didn't drive around in a brand new car. Sam Walton could have bought the car lot. Poor people aren't bargain hunters. Smart people are bargain hunters. It's also called being a good steward. Use coupons. If you don't know how to do that, ask Trina Anderson. Trina Anderson, I've seen her post where she's got $200 worth of stuff laid out, and they paid her $5 to get it. They paid her to take it. Use coupons. Look for bargains. Don't expect, and here's nobody probably even, but I do this for marriage counseling or premarital counseling for young couples, but don't expect to start out with what your parents had. It took them many years to get where they are. All right, benefits of financial success, just going to give them to you and then we're done. First of all, less stress in the marriage. And then the ability to give more. And this next one I love, options. Most people don't have options. They don't have options. Financial success will give you options. Here's the next one, security. Security, which is a major, major need of a woman. Major need. Security. And then finally, gives you the opportunity to go places, do things, enjoy life. Father, thank you for these lessons tonight. I hope that they will be a blessing. God, I pray that we will not only be hearers, but we will also be doers. Help us to put these things into practice in our life so that our life can be better and be more pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen.